Now, as you know, SUVs are more and more popular, so sometimes you don't want a crossover SUV. So is a mid-size SUV the one for you? Today we're taking a look at the Honda CR-V mid-size SUV, and is this the one that you want? Let's find out. Now, if you're thinking about trading in your car to buy a car like this Honda CR-V, try selling it with quotes instead. Quotes help you sell your car quickly and easily with the new Quotes doorstep. Get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience anywhere on the island. Quotes will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Quotes will update you with the best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit quotes.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now let's find out more about this car.
The Honda CR-V 5-seater is priced at $238,000. The 1.5-litre 4-cylinder inline VTEC turbocharged engine produces 190 brake horsepower and 243 Nm of torque. The CVT transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 9.7 seconds. The Honda CR-V has a claimed fuel consumption of 13.5 km per litre. For more details on the Honda CR-V 5-seater or any other car, head on to Sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car.
Now, starting off by the front, as usual, things get sportier, angular, sharper. Things are also wiser with this moustache-like silver trim right here. Like the Accord, it gets a nice sharp silver trimming, and you'll notice a C-shaped headlights right here that fit nicely with the piece of silver trimming. Your grille gets larger, simpler. You get this nice honeycomb slat design. I really like this. Fits really nicely with this big H logo right here. Tells you that you're driving a big size SUV, biggish. Now onto the side. Now over by the side, you're gonna find in this trim, this is the 5-seater trim. There is a higher 7-seater trim. This one comes with 17-inch rims. That one will come with 18-inch rims. Moving down the side, you're gonna find silver chrome trim as well as matte black plastic. That won't lock in your fingerprints. Very even silhouette all the way to the rear. Now over by the rear, you're gonna find the C-pillar taillights flowing all the way down here, and then like a little bit of J here and here. I like this two-tone, this black right here. It gives a very nice contrast to the red with your high mount brake light. This is the slightly larger brother to the HR-V, so you get CR-V badging right here. Open up the power tailgate too. In the 5-seater trim, 589 liters worth of boot space. If you go for the 7-seater, even with the third row seats up, you're still gonna get 150 liters worth of boot space. Very, very usable, as you can see. Now in the 5-seater trim, there's plenty of usable, insane amount of space. You're gonna get grocery hooks right here, light, as well as 12-volt for your optional accessory. In the rear, plenty of usable space, so your anti-trolley length test is no problem at all. Now, if you check out underneath, there is an actual spare tire right here. So let's check out the inside. Now, just like the 7-seater variant, if you want to knock down the second row seats, it's not going to be from up here. It's actually going to be from the lever down here, which also lets you adjust the angle of your backrest. Now, over by the rear, I'm 1.75 meters tall. This is my comfortable head position, my leg position. This is plenty of leg space, but not that much head space. And I do like that the cabin is decorated with this little bit of texture, so it does feel a little bit more upmarket than if it was just plain black and just hard plastics all around. Now, in terms of amenities, you're going to get aircon for your rear passenger and 2 USB-C chargers, so your passengers can keep cool and charge their devices while they're at it. If there's nobody, you can just lean down here on this middle armrest with the cup holder and just enjoy the ride. However, if there are 5 people and you want to move on over, it is actually really easy. The floor is almost flat. You can put your feet here really comfortably, really easy. So squeezing 5 for here, long rides, is not going to be a problem at all. Now let's check out the front. Now over in the cockpit of the CR-V, things are a rather bit of mixed bag. Some things I really like, some things I don't really like. What I really like, number one, the instrument cluster, very beautiful, very nicely displayed, very nicely done. It's very classy, simple and elegant, and it looks fantastic. It's very nice. This UI UX is also very nice. This new infotainment system, it's a far cry from where they've come before. So this trip computer, now it doesn't have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. They are both wired, but for what it is, I think it's doing a very nice job. It doesn't have navigation, but for your Bluetooth audio, right before you go into Android Auto, things are gonna look fantastic down here. And you also have your trip computer. Now you move down here, you get that same kind of aircon design from the Civic that honeycomb mesh design right here. Very nicely done. And then those very clicky aircon dials. These are perfect physical dials with digital display. So you get your fan control as well as dual zone for your driver and your front passenger. Moving down here, you get 12-volt USB-A, USB-C, and a little bit of wireless fast charger. You get a standard, pretty box standard gear shift, PR, park, reverse, neutral, drive, sport, and low, and that's about it. You don't get pedal shifters, you don't get plus minus to select your gear shift, and it's just this kind of design right here is really quite dated. Speaking about dated also, I think the mirror down here, you get your vanity mirror, but actually no vanity mirror light, so that's something I haven't seen in a while. You get econ mode, hill descent control, electronic parking brake, as well as brake auto, which is a nice system. This is not a 48-volt mild hybrid, so you're not going to get the annoying engine turning off. You get 2 cup holders right here, a little bit step, and then a rather deep cubby space. So this is overall quite nice. This area, they done really nicely, and I would like to see a lot more of this in the rest of the car. On the left side, you do get your Honda sensing on that mirror, so if I press this button right here, it actually can show you your left side. I've always found this really neat, and also really kind of bit of funny trivia that they only have it on the left side. So you get your left side camera, but if you want your right side, then you just have to use your physical eye. Other than that, I really like the design of this cabin. It feels very Honda. Things are back to basic, things are thrifty, but they still feel good. Now another thing is that so they have a trip computer right here, but this thing is only currently at 170 kilometers, so I can't really tell you a realistic fuel consumption figure. Like right now, cars that aren't running don't give you a real number. So as far as I can see, it's only 5-6 km per liter. I can tell you that's probably not going to be it. And up here, there's also a sunglasses holder, so it's a nice touch for your sunglasses. Really, really convenient. And then you get light controls for your door mode. Yeah, so another thing, this is the key fob, so it does feel like it's very Honda. How do I put this nicely? Honda's very thrifty. Now, does this car drive as well as it looks? One way to find out. So, driving the Honda CR-V, what does it feel like? Well, this thing, I have to say it feels a little bit misleading because it kind of makes me feel like I'm driving something a little bit more upmarket than what I'm used to. It's a Honda that I feel is a little bit nicer. Things are a little bit more refined. Number one, I really like the dashboard right here. This is the new design. It's black and white, it's digital, but it's very simplistic, it's very elegant. It almost makes me feel like I'm driving in something like the CX-5. The dials here are immaculate and they really show just what you need in a very beautiful design, yet very simple. And I think this is the way to go. Along with the rest of the cabin, things feel very nice. You get black here, you get brown, you get grey here, but you get this FL Civic kind of aircon vents here, and you get the clicky dials for your aircon controls. The UI UX, there is no wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but the interior looks very nice. This UI UX, this is something that I would love to look at every day. Now, in terms of drive, this thing is powered by a 1.5-litre turbocharged engine producing some sub 200 brake horsepower, but put your foot down, give it a little bit of time to catch up because it is using an eCVT, and it actually does feel quite zippy. I kind of like it and I don't really like it because in terms of power, I feel like there's enough. I think they've drawn a lot out of this 1.5-litre turbocharged engine, and I feel like it feels almost like 200 plus brake horsepower. It almost feels like 220 in that range. But the downside is that because it's using an eCVT engine, number one is it does have that drone when you put the pedal to the metal. It actually has rather good insulation for this car, this segment. Like right now, we are on the highway, we are doing 90. You don't really hear anything. There's a tipper truck and it's completely silent. But I'm getting a little bit of road noise. Road noise is forgivable, but what is I rather kind of comes in a little bit is when you down kick. That's when you hear it. That's an engine, the drone or the CVT, which also does remind me that this is wow. I like the engine output. I feel like they've drawn a lot out of this 1.5-litre turbocharged engine. I feel like this CVT needs a little bit more to be played with, kind of like the Jazz that they had. This one doesn't have pedal shifters. The gear shift doesn't have a gear selector, so I can't downshift, I can't upshift. In fact, I only get drive, sport, and then L for low. So that's like if you're towing something behind, you want to keep your revs low so you have that power. Yeah, so you can kick down, but it'll just take a little bit of a while for the power to come on. Now, if you put your pedal to the metal, you'll find that this CR-V feels very communicative and it feels very planted. And I like that. It doesn't feel kind of like floaty, which is something that I feel like you would associate it. I don't really like this term, but it feels a little bit more continental than oriental. It feels really stuck to the ground and it feels planted. And I really like this. The drive of this CR-V is really something to take note of. And in terms of safety, you're going to get lane keeping assist, you're going to get blind spot monitor, and smart cruise control. However, right now we're driving with the tread plates, so the tread plate is obstructing the front warning, so it can't tell you the distance between the car in front. So I can't actually turn on active cruise control right now, but turning on the lane keeping assist right now, and it's glowing green and it's helping me to center me in the lane. So if you are worried about driving a mid-size SUV like this, you know, it's good to get people out of your way, but if you're a little bit worried about trying to stay in lane for a car of this size, then the safety systems inside here are rather good for you. Now, another thing, in addition to the power, in addition to the drive, in addition to the handling, I like that this car is very comfortable. It is a 7-seater family car after all, right? A car like this is made with the idea that you will probably be driving around a lot. You'll probably be making a lot of stops, dropping everybody off. And this is a car that's built for that. Like, it's really so comfortable to drive. And then when you need it, you can just, for a little bit more power, I wish they had a little bit of a gear shift selector for your modes, but you can only shift down into sport. Other than that, things are very comfortable and it could be a very sensible everyday drive. And especially with a power plant like 1.5 litre turbocharged, you could get pretty good fuel consumption numbers out of this. And it's very fitting for a Honda. So, is this Honda CR-V a will buy, won't buy, or go try? Well, if you ask me, as much as I like this car, unfortunately this car actually will have to be a go try. Well, why? Because right now, currently, 7-seater SUVs are really hot in the market, and this thing goes up against quite some stiff competition. I like Hondas. I like this Honda especially. It really does feel good to drive. The interior makes you feel upmarket, refined. The looks of everything just looks fantastic. It's missing just a little bit of heads-up display or maybe a sunroof that would like kind of tie everything together. However, it does come in at rather quite a high price. This one currently is some 250,000 and it's going up against some stiff competition. While I like the power output of this, if you're looking at another 1.5 litre turbocharged 7-seater SUV, you're going to be looking at the freshly facelifted Škoda Kodiaq, and that is also using a 1.5 litre turbocharged engine. However, that's putting out quite a significant bit less of power to ferry around your family, but it's also coming in at quite a little bit less. That, I believe, comes in nearer to 220,000, and you get things like the split display, the LED matrix lights, as well as the dual function customizable dials, and those things just look fantastic. And then if you're going up against the range, you're looking at, let's say, Japanese market, right? This is a Japanese, go against the Japanese, you're going to be looking at the Nissan X-Trail. Now, there's one very common thing among all these 7-seater SUVs, and I think that when it comes to 7-seater SUVs, you're going to be looking at fuel consumption. That's right, because number one, you're going to be ferrying a lot of people, and number two, a car of this size is already going to be quite a lot of heft to be going around. So even if you look at the Škoda Kodiaq 1.5, I believe that might be a mild hybrid. Now, if not, for the rest, if you're looking at Nissan X-Trail, it is also a hybrid in its own way. It uses the e-Power hybrid system. Unfortunately, while the Nissan X-Trail is quite a bit cheaper at, I believe, some 230 to 240,000, they are suffering from a little unfortunateness, which is the calculation of its e-Power. So its road tax is somewhere, I believe, $2,000. So over the 10 years, your savings versus this might add up. So there is a little bit of drawback to the Nissan e-Power X-Trail. Now, if you're looking at about 250 to 260,000, you go a little bit up the range, you can also look at the Kia Sorento. Currently, there are two trims. I believe it's the SX and the SX Tech. SX, I believe, is right about here, about the $250,000 mark. And then you're going to be looking at a fresh new design. It is also a 1.6 litre turbocharged hybrid, which is currently inside quite a few Korean makes. But on the inside, I think it boils down to whether you want a kind of Japanese look or a Korean look, then you have that option as well. So if you ask me, against the competition right now, it is very heated in the market. So that's why for me, this is going to be a go try. So that's it. That's our review of the Honda CR-V 7-seater. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. Do leave it in the comments and we'll read every single one of these. Now, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And lastly, do follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. This is the first for me. If it breaks, it's not my fault, Honda. I feel like I'm gonna slice my thumb off. Yes, if you're looking at another 1.5 litre turbocharged 7-seater SUV, you're gonna be looking at the freshly lifted Koda Skoda.